Hey guys, it's me, Audra Upchurch. Happy Monday. Normally this is a live that I would have done in my co-author group, but I've been getting hit up in my inbox so much lately on this topic. I figured I would jump on my profile and chat with you guys a little bit this morning about if you're writing a book, what will you pay? What will it cost you? How do you figure out the money aspect, right? Because there's so many people who want to write books. There's so many people who have stories burning inside of them. There's so many people that if they get 5 minutes to sit down, they would love to write it all out. But then what? How do we handle it? So since many of you have seen, hey, Carla, thank you for joining. Hey, Margaret, thank you also for joining. Since so many people are constantly asking me, Audra, how do you do all these great things with your book? How do you do book launches in Cuba? And how are you doing all these amazing things? Where does the money come from? I wanted to talk with you guys about that today and kind of give you some insight that may help. How does that sound? So as you join the broadcast, let me know who you are and where you're watching from. And Margaret and Carla, let me know you can hear me okay, because I just popped on and I switched from the Wi-Fi to have it tether off my phone because the connection in the office sometimes isn't all that great. So I wanted to make sure that you guys could see me and hear me good. So let's talk about the money. Well, a lot of you may know, or you may not know, that my background is finance and accounting. I have my bachelor's degree in accounting. I have an MBA, and I worked in finance as a financial analyst for many years. So money is something that I think about a lot when it comes to business, that maybe most people don't. But just because you don't have that background doesn't mean that you can't have the tools to really know how to approach generating revenue from your book or having a clue on how to handle all the expenses that come up from your book, right? Great, Carla, you can hear me. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, Margaret, you gotta leave. Make sure you pop back in because this is normally something I would have for just you co-authors. Margaret is one of my co-authors in my upcoming anthology. I'm really excited. We have 2 coming up, Fiercely Speaking, which Margaret is a part of, and we have Unchain Me Mama, The Forgiveness Factor. And we still have slots left in The Forgiveness Factor. So if you want to be a part of that or you're interested in hearing more, put in the comments, I'm interested, and I'll circle back around and give you the deets. But today, right now, I want to talk about if you're writing a book, what are you going to pay? What it's going to cost you? Because it's kind of surprising to me that a lot of folks don't realize that you got to pay to do a book. Some folks seemed really surprised when we have our little book consults and I kind of outlay some of the expenses involved with producing a book. They're shocked. And yeah, books cost money. Somebody put in the comments, books cost money. Hey, Marquis, thank you for joining. And I want to talk a little bit about what that looks like now so that those of you that are writing a book can be prepared and armed and ready for some of the expenses you may stumble across as you write your book. Because I want not just your writing process to be a success, I want your entire book process to be a success because success feels good. Somebody put in the comments, success feels good. Hey, Janika, yesterday I shared on my profile that 2 of my books, and let me show them to you, 2 of my books, Unchain Me Mama, this is one, and my book, Unchain My Legacy, which came out a few months ago, were finalists in the IAN Book Awards, right? And I had an inbox this morning, somebody asking me, how did that happen? First of all, thank you, because I'll say congratulations, and I'm going to say thank you. Hey, Miss Betty, thank you for joining. But that didn't happen by accident. There was a whole process outlaid. So before I get started with my Monday, I want to talk with you about your writing process and what you'll have to pay and what that looks like. So let's start first here. When you're writing your book, a lot of you, hey, Stacy, a lot of you focus on just the writing part, and I get it. But I want you to answer this question. Why? What is the reason behind you writing your book? Is it just to get your story out? And believe it or not, that's the response. This little piece of wig right here is going to make me stop falling in my face. Anyway, as I talk to my wig, a lot of you guys, when I talk with you about your book, your purpose is, oh, I just want to write to get my story out. Okay. I get it, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that. If you think about it, if you just wanted to write your story out, you would get a piece of paper and you would just write and you would put it to the side when you're done. For the most part, I think most of you have a bigger idea, right? You have a bigger hope, a bigger goal in mind when you write your story. I just think for many of you, you're too afraid to say what it is. You're too afraid to verbalize it because hashtag what if I fail? Can we be honest? But I want to encourage you to shift your thinking a little bit and to be transparent and write down what are your true reasons for writing beyond getting your story out. Can you do that? So that's the first thing I want to encourage you to do, is sit down and write your reasons for why you're putting all this effort, putting all this time into writing beyond, I just want to share my story. Okay? Do that first and be clear and be transparent and be honest. Because once you know your why, then you can make your next steps of, this is why I want to write my story. Next, what are my goals? See, I knew with Unchain Me Mama and Unchain My Legacy that, yes, I wanted to share about my experience with my mom. I wanted to talk about what I learned from my daughter, but I also wanted to reach the masses. I wanted to reach as many people as I could with the story. And I wanted to help as many authors as I could with my book project. So I was clear on what my reasons were. And so because I was clear on my reasons, I was then able to establish goals, which is the next thing I want you to do. So after you're clear of your reasons, you know why you want to put this book together, you know why you want to invest all this time, then think about your goals. What are some of the things you want to do with this book? Do you want to, hey Charlene, thank you for popping in. Do you want to enter festivals? Do you want to take this book and one day see this book on the big screen, right? And let me go ahead and drop this in your lap right now. You may be seeing that next year for one of my books. So is that something you want to do? Do you want to turn your book into a movie? Do you want to enter book festivals? Like, what do you want to do with your book? What are some of your goals? And when you think about your goals, think beyond the book launch. A lot of authors that I talk to don't think beyond the book coming out. Your book is going to be in print forever and ever, right? So think about it. Think beyond the book launch. Think beyond that initial book signing event. What is your plan for your book in year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4? What are your plans for your book? So once you're clear on why you're writing, right? First thing I want you to do is be clear why you're writing the book. The second thing I want you to do is think about your long-term goals for the book. How is your press release distribution going to go? What outlets are you releasing to? What countries is your press release going out to, right? Think about the long-term effects. What is the plan beyond the book launch? Some folks, I know, they'll release their book, put it on Amazon, the next day, they're off to something else. Their book is a memory. And I don't think that's anybody's intentions, right? From the beginning, when we think of writing our book, when we think of the time, blood, sweat, and tears we put into it, we want our book to reach the masses, but you got to have a plan for that to happen, right? So why are you writing your book and what is your plan? Like, I knew when I released Unchain Me Mama, when I released my first version of Unchain Me Mama, I already knew that there would be an Unchain Me Mama Volume 2. I already knew that that was going to happen. I knew it would happen at least 2 years later. I had a plan, right? So what is your plan? Because once you're clear on your plan, it can lead you into the third step I want to share with you today. And again, for those of you that are interested in hearing about Unchain Me Mama Volume 2, which will be releasing next year, put in the comments, I'm interested, and I'll circle back around and I'll provide you the details. right? And I hope you guys are sharing this broadcast out, because there are so many people who are curious about this writing process. And I've seen so many people launch their books, and then after they launch it, they realize, oh man, I wish I had known this stuff sooner. So go ahead and share this, and let's help somebody this Monday morning. Hey, Stacy, thank you for joining in. Hey, Lynn, another one of my co-authors. I'm so excited she's on the broadcast. My book, I have 2 books coming out next year, Fiercely Speaking, and the second edition of Unchain Me Mama, the Forgiveness Factor. So the third thing I want you guys to do, right, when you think about your book and you think about the process is, drum roll, please. Third thing I want you to think about, hey, Rhonda, is your budget. Don't run. Don't run. I know budget is a curse word for some folks, but stick with me, hang with me, okay? Yes, I know accounting and finance is my background, but anybody can do a budget, anybody. I actually schedule profitability analysis with folks who are doing book anthologies, because I want to make sure that they're pricing their books correctly from the Giddy Up, right? They're pricing the contributor fee from the Giddy Up correctly. And so I understand direct costs, I understand indirect costs, but you can too. You can too, trust me, right? So the next thing I want you to do is budget. Think about all the great things you want to do with your book. So if you want to enter book awards, because here's the thing. You guys saw yesterday I posted that both of my books, Unchain Me Mama and Unchain My Legacy, were finalists in the IAN Book Awards. But newsflash, I had to enter the awards. I had to enter. There have already been over 2 million books printed worldwide in 2018. So I could be a little arrogant and think that these book awards will just know about me through osmosis and through greatness. I can pretend that, right? I can delude myself, or I can go ahead and submit my books for consideration. Now, some of these book awards, your submission, there is no fee. Some it's a nominal fee, and some it's out there, right? And you're like, well, hey, if it's a book and it's good, why do I have to pay? And it goes back to what I just said. There are already 2 million books printed in 2018. So they don't get hit with 2 million submissions. There's a fee. Light bulb goes off, right? So I have to budget those fees. I have to be prepared for those fees. And again, if I know what I'm writing and I'm clear on my goals, and my goal is, well, I'm going to enter this book into at least 5 book awards. Right? Now, here's the thing. You may not win. Most times you won't win. But you got to be in it to at least have a chance to win it. Right? So I budget. I include that in my budget. I know I want to have my press release done, and I want my press release to not only release in the US, I want my press release to hit certain news outlets in Canada and in Europe. Right? That costs money. I want to make sure that each book I do is released into 5 or 6 different, book networks. That costs money. I want to make sure that when we have our book launch, that is bigger and better than the last one we did. And we went to Cuba on the last one. So, next time I got to bring it, like for real, right? That costs money. So I want to encourage you guys to not just look at your direct cost with printing the book and getting the graphics done and getting the book edited and the formatting and the print on demand distribution, all of those things. I don't want you to just only consider your direct costs. Those are important. But so many of you are missing the boat on your indirect costs because you're not clear on why you're writing and what your goals are. Therefore, you're missing all those costs in your budget. So then, hey, Renee, thank you for joining. So then once your book comes out, after the book launch, everything fizzles. And that's when everything should be jumping off. It should be on and popping. It should be on and popping after your book launch. Your book launch and your book signing event should be the springboard to everything else, right? Yes, Rhonda, Audrey will get you clear. I hope so. I really hope so. And for those of you that still have questions and you're still kind of fuzzy on how to price your book, what are some of the indirect costs associated with putting your whole book project together, you can hang out with me in my new Facebook group, Mastering Meaningful Manuscripts. Again, it's Mastering Meaningful Manuscripts. And there we'll talk everything books. For those of you who aren't clear on who your audience is, right? You aren't clear on your book is printed, now what? You aren't clear on what do I do with this manuscript? Do I self-publish? Do I hit a traditional publisher? Do I do some type of hybrid situation, right? I can help you with that. My background is I was a bookstore manager. I've worked in book distributors before, and I'm also a best-selling author. So I have various experience on top of my nerdy financial background that I hope can get you to the point of success with your book. You can have continued success beyond the launch, but it's going to require you to do 3 things. Know why you're writing, be clear on your goals, and create that budget. And you too can have success beyond the launch. I'm Audra Upchurch. I hope to see you at Mastering Meaningful Manuscripts. And don't forget to share this broadcast. Let me get started with my Monday because time is ticking. Love you guys. Bye.